So in the past, I've talked about weird episodes from season one of Ed and Eddy, but that was more so in a like sinister, creepy sort of sense of these really early episodes just having super off and weird shit in them that makes you feel uncomfortable. This is something that's a much more different vibe and is probably going to be harder to explain, unlike that other one that basically everybody gets and understands. Because this isn't like a creepy thing at all, it's just a really off and I don't want to say like uncomfortable, but it's definitely not the most like pleasant feel, which I'll get into more later. But season 4 of Ed and Eddy is weird, like really weird, as you read. But it doesn't exactly start that way. Now, it does start off different, however, the animation doesn't seem quite exactly the same as the first three seasons, and obviously it's not like what came afterward. That's something else I should be talking about, because to set up how season 4 is so different from everything else in the series, people just naturally group the show into like two different sides or eras or whatever. Okay, there's the summer episodes, the first original intended run, and then there's the school episodes. And, everybody loves the summer episodes indiscriminately and stuff, and then people have more mixed feelings on the school ones, but the differences are clear and obvious when you just look at them. Season 4, not quite. I feel like it's more of like a weird transitional thing, kind of like a purgatory stuck in between them. But yet people still indiscriminately group them with just the summer episodes, despite the fact that it feels so different once you get to it. And yes, like I said, not only does it just look kind of different, it doesn't quite look as classic as the episodes that went before it, but the vibe is just totally different. As I'm going to try to get into also, because, the writing doesn't feel quite the same, and as I'll also list specifically in a bit, this season contains, episodes that not everybody finds, the most favorable, and it also has a bit more of a, mean charm to it at times, but anyway, season 4, when this starts, immediately feels different. You just have to kind of feel it. And the first episode, or what's at least listed as the first episode for it, completely conveys this, where it's the episode where they follow the urban rangers into the woods, and you just immediately get a sense of it feeling different. It doesn't have quite the same, middle of infinite summer as all of the episodes before it started, and obviously they're not in school, but yeah, it just feels totally different. It doesn't feel like that it's no longer a bunch of kids from the era of when the show premiered, just playing around and stuff, but it feels like it kind of takes place in a different time. And again, it's gonna be really hard to pinpoint this unless if you just know what I mean and you remember it. I really suggest that you try watching these episodes around when you watch this video. But yeah, it just immediately feels different. It looks different. It has a different, less innocent and kind of open-ended vibe to it. And yeah, I guess it's just a little bit more sinister too. I feel like I'm using overly extreme words with that. The characters just feel a bit more, I guess no longer with it, maybe. And yeah, that episode just really conveys those feels. It's not a bad episode or anything, though, not by any means. It just feels different, and the writing and the way the characters are portrayed itself just feels closer to the quote-unquote school episodes than they do the classic summer ones. It's the school episodes, but set place in the episodes that take place beforehand, and without the same animation as either of them. It's not the blatantly digital animation that the school ones got, but again, it just looks different from the ones that came beforehand. It's more updated, I guess, and honestly, it doesn't look as good. Unless if I'm just crazy and there's absolutely, like, no difference in reality, but it just doesn't look as good to me. It doesn't have the same charm as the ones before it. And I feel like that's a really good way to put the Season 4 episodes are the, like, normal first 3 season ones, but without the charm. Like, again, not to say all of the episodes are bad, not by any means. But yeah, in fact, the episode where they make Jimmy a sumo wrestler is actually listed as Season 4, and I don't think that's really correct. Again, I could be completely off, but it just doesn't look or feel like a Season 4 episode. But yeah, the first half of Season 4 actually has a lot of good episodes. Like, it has the episode where Ed is angry and so on. But you can definitely still see how it looks different and feels different from the episodes beforehand, even if it's still of the same quality. After that is when it starts to get really weird, because it has that visual, aesthetic, feel, vibe difference to it. But that's also when the episodes start to get a bit more unnotable and, I guess, forgettable. Like, I'm pretty sure the one with Eddy's middle name was in this season, I want to say it is. The original intended finale, Take This Out and Shove It, was of course the finale of the season. And I gotta say, I'm not that big of a fan of that episode, because it just has everything I was talking about now with these. And on top of that, it's just depressing to see. Like, what a depressing way to end the cartoon. That's why I'm kind of glad it ended up getting, like, continued just for that reason. And yeah, like, even, like, praised episodes, though, like, in Ed is Born, which is a really beloved episode, like, it still kind of has these vibes where it just feels, like, strangely a bit more empty, and just doesn't have the same, like, vibes as everything else. How many times am I going to say the word vibes in this video? And, yeah, it just looks more empty, and I mean, I guess it makes sense that they wanted it to end at this point, because I guess what I'm describing is what you can feel in, like, other shows when the writer's exhaust starts kicking in. Again, this is 4 seasons in, like, it makes sense that they want to end just, like, this kid's cartoon at that point. However, it, of course, didn't, and the much more blatantly different school episodes came in afterwards. But I feel like that Season 4, because of that reason, ends up really matching with this, because I'm sure all of you get this feeling if you recall this, but I don't know how it went for everybody else. Like, some people I know had to go back to school, like, in early August, which was insane, but when I was going to grade school, summer vacation was mid-ish June to early September. Now, these feelings would start to kick in around, like, the last week of August or so, and then just get, like, stronger as the first day in September approached. And how many of you remember that desolate feeling, like, oh no, I still feel it to this day, by the way, that, like, oh no, the end of summer is kicking in, fucking kill me. How many of you get that vibe? And, like, while maybe not this strong, like, we all probably can share that last day of summer break before you go back is just, like, one of the fucking worst feelings in the world, and some of, like, the slowest days ever in your life. And I mean, again, maybe not that strong, but at least in the beginning, when that dread starts to kick in and be realized that the end is here, Season 4 of Ed and Eddy, I feel like, perfectly captures, well, maybe not perfectly, but it definitely does capture that feeling in the show, which makes sense because, I mean, continuity-wise, yeah, this would be around the end of summer for them before they had to go to school, and Eddy's sabotaging the calendars. Learn more about this in the Ed and Eddy Iceberg, wink. And yeah, like, that kind of, like, empty off, desolate, like, this is the end, like, real subtly different characteristics and behavior, that's captured in Season 4, and the uncomfortableness, too, is captured in Season 4, especially with the, again, less favorable episodes that aren't quite as, like, liked or fondly remembered, or just remembered in general, and have all these off vibes, and yeah, so there's that thing, but I feel like this also ties in with just Cartoon Network at the time, and how Cartoon Network, for the same reasons, and adjectives just felt off and awkward at this time. It was a really weird, like, transitional empty phase for them, and I've never really heard anybody else talk about this besides myself, like, bringing up my friends and, like, kind of swaying them into it, but I can't exactly pinpoint when this started exactly. I mean, it wasn't, like, the same throughout. It was definitely really transitional, and this was at its worst, like, 2003 and maybe 2002, which is when Season 3 was happening. But Cartoon Network, maybe around like 2001, but that feels too early. Maybe like after Candy aired, but then it definitely was over once Foster's premiered and the Silver Age happened. They were in this really awkward transitional phase, and I think I've talked about this a bit beforehand in my other Cartoon Network video. But this was like a really awkward, empty transitional phase. Like the Golden Age was definitely over, but the Silver one didn't start yet for like the mid 2000s, and 2002, 2003, there was just really nothing going on for them, and like any show premiering was just like really forgettable or unknowable and lasted really fucking shortly, probably barely aired at all. Like the most remembered one is fucking Juniper Lee, and yeah, that basically says like enough for you, probably. And season 4, I almost said 3 of Ed and Eddy, just like fits of those vibes too. Like, I mean, the Silver Age started like once season 5 of the show started, and honestly, to get more personal and even more meta, I kind of feel that way with my life at the time too, because season 4 was happening around the time I started kindergarten. And yeah, I actually remember a whole lot from my earliest days. Like, I've always been really surprised when people are like, how do you remember anything from before age 7? I was like, what? But yeah, like this also for me signified like a really awkward feeling time when I think back on it and can remember feeling then. I was just transitioning from like total fun everyday innocence and baby shit to, oh, gotta get ready, gotta go to school and stuff. And I mean, maybe it's more of a personal thing too, just like other things that are going on around me at the time, but it just also feels like more empty and awkward and uncomfortable and weird to think of at the time, even if it wasn't any reason for it to be so bad. And yeah, season 4 of Ed and Eddy just kind of like again captures that vibe, and that vibe of Cartoon Network's awkward phase and that vibe of summer ending. And yeah, again, it's not like the earlier episodes at all. It doesn't have the same feeling as the others episodes that take place more in the middle and start of summer. This one is much more empty feeling, and it's blatantly not the same because it looks different, but they're not quite in school yet. And yeah, that to me kind of sums up why season 4 is so weird. I don't know how well of a job I did explain this. This feels more like a video I would have done a bit ago, but yeah, I just want to wrap this up, so I'll see you all then and say what you think.